What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 9th machine learning with Python and Scikit-learn tutorial video. In this video, we'll just be continuing on the next one, and what we're going to do is we're going to plot up different, or actually we're going to calculate for difference, and then we use difference to kind of visualize and show how debt to equity ratio has an effect on a company, whether they underperform or outperform. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to plot this up first of all. So let's do the following. So first we're going to do from time import mk time. We may not need that actually, but we'll pull that for now. And then we're going to import matplotlib from actually let's do import matplotlib matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and then we do from, actually let's do it here, from matplotlib import style, and then we're going to do style.use, and we're going to use anything we want. I tend to use ggplot, but I'm going to do dark background for now. Everybody who does, you know, trading and investing likes to have dark backgrounds, so we use dark background. Next, we're going to import RE for regular expressions, because we're going to need them, probably. I kind of know already in advance. So, the first thing we want to do is we're going to come up to our data frame, and just after SP500 change, add a comma, and we're going to add one more column here, and that is going to be difference. So again, in the future, we'll be able to, you know, if we had a huge data set, say maybe all of the stocks in the entire, you know, stock market of the United States, at the end of the day, we could actually have, you know, all of this stuff could be knocked out, and maybe this as well, and in theory, ticker as well, at least on our testing set, or not our testing set. I'm sorry, our you know, labeling set basically. So, anyways, our training set. Moving on. Difference, so we're going to plot that up, and difference is going to be basically this minus this, and if it's positive, that means the company did good, outperformed, and if it's negative, the company did not outperform. So now what we want to do is we'll come down to basically, let's go to the very bottom first, and we'll just add, you know, comma, and then we'll just say difference is equal to stock underscore p underscore change minus sp500 underscore p underscore change. So let me just code that in right now. So that's our difference. Now let's say we wanted to actually you know, plot that. So we've got difference there, and basically I'm trying to think, we want this one tab over. So once this entire operation is complete, we can run it before we do the save. We're going to say the following. So remember, we added ticker up here, this ticker list. Now we're going to use that. We're going to say for each underscore ticker in ticker list, what do we want to do? Again, we're going to use try and except. And again, I'm going to use it as a form of logic and kind of a fail-safe to make sure our program runs. Sorry, pass on the exception. And our try will be very simple. It'll be basically, we want to plot where we're going to plot each stock on the graph is kind of our goal, but we can kind of, you'll see what I mean. We'll get there. So plot underscore df equals data frame, and then we've got df ticker. So basically where the ticker is identical to each underscore ticker, so that we're kind of redefining the data frame we want to plot with. And then we're going to set the index to be date, just simply because Pandas is pretty good at plotting automatically with dates. So we'll say plot underscore df equals plot underscore df dot set underscore index, and we're going to set the index to date, and then we can basically plot this. So we're going to say plot underscore df, and we basically want to plot, we want to plot difference and then we do dot plot, and we plot as label equals each underscore ticker, and then we'll do plt.legend, and that should be it. Do we not have a, oh, I guess we're going to call plt.show. Outside of that, try and accept plt.show. Save and run that. I did 25. There we go. Okay, so we've got this lovely graph here. And basically this graph shows you know, a bunch of the company performances. So the companies that are up here, you know, above the 0 mark are successful, right? They beat the market. And the companies that are down here are unsuccessful. They did not beat the market. Now, this is what I was talking about. First of all, we have data that spans all the way to about 2013. We can see most of the companies seem to be making it to about the 2009 mark in the cutoff. But we can see Apple here in its serious outperforming. Well, it stops at 2006-ish. We've got this line, whatever company it is, stops here. And a company stopping here as well. Anyway, we're clearly not getting something here. Now, there's only a few point of failures. And all of the point of failures pretty much logically need to link to our you know, example sheets here. So here's an example, you know, these, right? Because the data that we're getting from Quandl is normalized data, so it's unlikely that we're missing a poll there. So if we're missing anything, we're missing everything on that data set. But on this data set, it's likely that over the course of a decade, Yahoo Finance changes something right in their code. So here, basically, we could start, you know, throwing in you know, try and accepts. So for example, we could come up basically to the very top here, and we're looking for value. So this value here, so we could try, for example, we can throw a try here, and we can throw an exception. Accept exception as E, and then we're going to print the string version of E. We'll hit a time sleep of 15 seconds every time we hit an exception there. All right, so could not convert string to float, so not available. That's okay. We don't really care about that because we're kind of purposely skipping the not available ones. So let's go ahead and let's comment that out real quick. See if we get anything else here. Okay, right. So for the most part, you know, the not availables are you know, the major thing that we're hitting, but we're also hitting a list index out of range. So what we could do at this point is we could say, you know, we're printing the list indexes out of range. That's fine. But then we can take it a step further. We can also print the ticker. So what ticker is this happening on? And then we can actually print print file. Okay. So we'll save and run that one more time. And we could ignore some of these other ones, but we can come over here. Let's just close out the graph. And we can see, you know, we're accepting the not availables, right, because there's no data there. But then we can see, okay, list index out of range on Apple over 2006. And then we can see it happens, basically that's it for Apple. But we're seeing, you know, the exact file that it's happening on. So we could pull up, you know, we could say, okay, it's happening on Apple. So we could come, you know, to our data set here. Come down to Apple, and we get a month and all that, so the actual file name. So in 2006, looks like February 3rd. So we can come down in 2006. This one right here is where it's happening. And this is happening on the polling of the debt to equity ratio, right? Right, because we're pulling value as that. So let's go ahead. We look here. And we scroll down and we see, okay, well, it has, you know, total debt to equity. It has a value there. It's just the value is 0. So let's go ahead and copy total debt to equity, view the source, find, and we come here and we see, okay, there it is. There's our value. And immediately, I know that before this was one big jumbled mess. Now it appears they've cleaned it up. So let me scroll in a little bit for you guys. And we see that actually what we have here is, you know, in our code, we're saying that the value is found at gather, so the name that we were, you know, debt to equity MRQ, And then we were finding that also within, after that, it was slash data table, blah, 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 table data 1. Okay, that looks, right, so like right here, basically, we've got total debt to equity, so gather, and then we had slash table data, and then we had a new bit of table data, right? And what we're seeing, though, in the source code here is that after slash table data, it's onto a new line. Whereas in the previous data, it was not like that. So we could look here, for example, source code. This isn't the same one, but you can see they don't start a new line there. They've been adding new lines in this code, and that's kind of problematic for us, and that's what's causing our problem in this case. So what could we do? Well, if this fails, right? So if try value equals, this, well, we can run an exception. We can still save exception is E, but we'll not print anything. And now we'll say value is almost identical to this one. We'll copy that. We'll come down here and we'll paste. And we'll say it's basically the same thing. The only difference is after this slash table data, before the new table data, some coder decided he wanted to clean up the code, so he added a bunch of new lines. Congratulations. So now it's got a new line to it, and that's it. So that's where that has changed. So we can save that, and now we can run this really quick. Wait for it, and we can see here that some of the data has gotten longer. We still have this yellow line that's stopping, and really this one is stopping as well. And I guess. Yeah, we're still having something yelling at us there. Let's add this time sleep. Oh, well, that's going to hit us on the non-availables as well. Right, okay. So basically I ran that to prove, though, that we're not failing at this point. So this is, at least, hopefully not. I suppose if this failed right here, we would have a problem. So actually this is hitting something else now. Anyway, moving on from that, we do know that this was causing a problem. So we'll leave that for now with that new line added to it. And now what we want to do is we're going to come down to stock price. So that's this right here. So the next question, so because we know in the S&P 500 stuff, it can't be happening, or we're pretty confident it's not happening there. So then we can come down here to stock price, and we can add a try and except here as well. So let's add a try, tab this over, except, and then exception E, and then heck, we can even, well, I guess, yeah, and that's Python 2.7 code as E. And then we print string E, then we'll print ticker, then we'll print file, I think. Yes. Okay, save and run that. We should have had a sleep. Anyway, first of all, you can see, one, that has helped us elongate all of these lines, but we are missing difference, right? So it helped us pass a few of our problems and come on to another one. Another stock price, for example. So we know we're on the right track, and we can see here that what's occurring is this exception here that we're throwing, and it says that we have this basically remaining data, right? Because if you recall, we split the data. So we're splitting data, and we can see that this has occurred on the stock name of AEP as an example. So and that's happening like across the board on all of these. And the other thing that we can see right out of the gate is it's a little bit different for each stock, right? This is right here is custom, right? So AES corresponds to AES, and AFL corresponds to AFL. It's kind of a problem if we're going to be using splitting. So let's go ahead and copy that example, though, and we'll come over here, and we know now that we need, the problem is this little bit of code here, and this is why we're going to be using regular expressions. So now we try stock price equals this, okay, and we know right away that fails because we're trying to convert it to a float where we absolutely cannot convert that to a float. So if that fails, we'll come down here and we'll say, okay, that's fine. We're now going to say stock price does not equal float. It just equals, you know, this for now. And then we're going to go ahead and say, okay, well, instead now stock price equals stock underscore price. And we're going to say stock price now equals read.search. And we're going to search with the regular expression of, basically we're just going to search for numbers, right? So we search for /d for a digit. And we want any amount of digits from 1 in length to, let's say, I don't know, 8 in length. So in theory, like Berkshire A could be here, although Berkshire A would be, no, Berkshire A would, well, because we have if it does. Yeah, this would be fine. Anyways, moving on. So digit 1 to 8, and then we might have a period, and a period is a regular expression, so you have to backslash to escape it. So a period followed by a digit, and again, really it's probably 1 to 4. Actually, it's probably 1 to 2, but we'll have 1 to 8 just in case they ever decide to do, you know, some sort of massive decimals. Although nobody goes past 4 for US dollars. Anyways, read.search. So we're searching the stock price as this regular expression, and we're hoping this will spit out a stock price. And then the stock price, stock underscore price, shall equal the float version of stock underscore price dot group, and we want 1. Now let's go ahead and print stock price. Let's add a quick time.sleep 15 just to see. Hopefully we'll get something spat out at us at some point. Apparently not. Oh, and it graphed for us. Let's see. Where would we have gone wrong there? Let's try one more. Try and accept, I suppose. Paste. Try accept. Exception as e print string e and time.sleep 15 there. Let's see what we get there. Oh, okay. So yeah, right. So we're using this regular expression to search for something, but you have to say like where are you searching for that, and we're searching for that within stock price. Let's try one more time. Okay, so you can see it found a stock price. Wonderful. So we're going to leave this exception here because there's actually one more exception in theory that we could hit because eventually Yahoo moved to a real-time ticker. So we have to handle for that. But this should actually do for now, although we will eventually hit an error. I'm not seeing us hitting that error, but they do move to it. And anyway, we've now hit a much larger set here. We can see that indeed our data is kind of sporadic, but it is getting plots all the way now to 2013. And Apple for the massive outperformance. Okay, so cool. Stock price. I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't hit the other exception here. I guess it really doesn't matter because we're searching for that price within it. But I don't think it's under these. Anyway, I'm almost positive that we should hit one of these exceptions later. I'll leave the exception there. So when we hit it, we know we've hit it. And we'll just leave that for now. So now we have, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to cover before we move on. Because it's kind of one of the bonuses to being able to visualize your data set is you can kind of see where you've gone wrong. It's really easy. Whereas the computer's a little worse at realizing that something is wrong. Oh. Apparently maybe this is us hitting one of that one of those errors. Well, are you? Here it is. We ran it already once and we didn't hit the error. I don't understand. Stock price, comma, let's try it one more time. Right, list index out of range. Okay, so we did hit that other error. That's so weird. I swear we coded this and then we ran it and we didn't hit that error. Okay, so now we have a final try and accept, basically, which is right here. So we're hitting this exception, and now we want to have basically one more. So this is what I mean. I sometimes use try and accepts as logic. I don't care how you're going to go about gathering your data. It's generally going to be an ugly mess. If your data set is an ugly mess, it's going to be an ugly mess, you know, compiling everything. Let's go ahead and compile this stuff real quick. And so we're hitting this error. This is our final error. And they've moved to a real-time ticker, most likely. But here's what we can do. We can go ahead and we can print stock price, string E, ticker file. So let's run that really quick so we can get an example file here. So we've got A in 2013. So come over here. Key stats A. It's 2013-05-14. So basically this one. We'll come over here. Scroll on down until we find what looks to be a stock price. This looks to be the stock price. Copy, U, find, paste. And indeed, our issue here is we're hitting this new, real-time ticker, and then we're coming into the stock price. So we need to account for that. So let me minimize this, close this, and here. So now we've hit this exception, and we will do the following. Let's just say stock price equals, let's take this one here. So we'll copy this, copy, come down here, paste. And now stock price can't equal the float of that. So delete that. And then now we want to search for this real-time ticker nonsense. So coming over here, it's kind of hard to see in the video, I'm sure, but basically we're going to grab this right here. So the span class equals time real. I assume RT, and then I don't know what Q stands for, but it's probably real-time ticker of some sort. So we copy that, come over here. We're going to say it's on the left-hand side of this now. And then on the other side of that is just a span, like a closing span tag. So let's just add a closing span tag there. Oops, span. Now we print stock price equals, let's come down here now. Okay. Now we can run the exact same regular expression on the code that we did before. So that was like right here, right? So we run this. So copy that code, come down here, paste that code, print latest. So that's basically our latest exception. We still have the sleep here, so we'll see that this code hopefully has worked. That should do it. So let's run that. Right. So for example, we got, so this is running on an exception, just for the record. And we knew that this exception, let me control C real quick. We knew this exception before was coming on this exact file right here. So we're still printing out the exception that was thrown, but just understand that we're looking at, the solution to that exception. But that was the exception, that was the price we were trying to hunt for, and that is indeed the price it found. So now we can come over here. Let's go ahead and comment out some of these prints and the sleep. Now let's go ahead and save and run that. Man, this video is getting long. Sorry, guys. So we do still have some list index out of range. Though that list index out of range is probably for the not available. Anyway, so we look at our data now, and let me make this big here. And basically, we should have some data basically every year. So let's go ahead and look at this real quick. So it looks like we've got a few data sets, but it looks like we're kind of coming through the year basically 2009 to 2011 without any major plots happening there. But that might be the not available stuff. Let me check really quick before we move on. Right. I'm aware of the list index being out of range. Thank you, good sirs. I just want to make sure it's not, because it could be this list index out of range or something. But, well, no, it's not going to be that one. So the only other thing we could have a list index out of range on is this right here, I suppose. This could come out of range. In fact, let's see if that's what's happening before we go any further. These are the most, this is probably the most embedded try and except I've ever had. Try except exception as E, print string E, that to let us know which one we're on, file ticker. Let's run that. Right. Okay, so we're not hitting an exception anymore on stock price. Are we printing an exception anywhere else? Like maybe we're printing it, right, we are printing it here. But this is for value. And it might be the case we just don't have a value, but let's go ahead and hit a time sleep 15. Right. Okay, so we are hitting an exception on the acquisition of this data. Let's go ahead and look at this data really quick. So, for example, we have an apple for the year 2006. So let me pull that up. Let's check that out. Apple 2006, 02, 03. Okay, and that's happening on the debt to equity ratio, which in theory we should be hitting. So let's go ahead and debt to equity MRQ. So basically right here is where we should be hitting that data. We should be getting a 0 there, and we're not. That's in 2006. Okay, so let's look at this really quick. Right, so this is, I think this is width that's throwing us for a loop here. But that might be because I was zoomed in, actually. Let me zoom out real quick. Well, why would that shouldn't matter. Hold on. Debt to equity, yeah. So 75%. This video is running too long. I'm not thinking straight. So we could add a width 75% to handle that. We could also add or use a regular expression here. Man, can't believe this is hitting us now. Okay. So accept. So let's encase this in a try and accept real quick. So try that. And then tab this over. Try that. Except, let's just copy, paste. And then now we've got, so we had gather. Oh wait, you know what? Oh man, I am totally just tripping out now. So that was never a problem. So we had debt to equity, and then it was to this table column basically. So total debt to equity colon / table data, new line, and then it came to be this data right here. And I see no difference there. So 1 split and then it ends on table data. So I'm not quite sure why it's missing this data actually. Accept exception as E. Okay, so now we're hitting it on a different file. Maybe I was just hitting that exception. It's totally possible. This is getting too long and my brain is dying on me. So let's go key stats. A 2009-0802. I'm hoping this just says not available, but I don't think it would. Debt to equity. Well, at least this one says not available. AA in 2009-03. Let's check that one. Okay, again, debt to equity is not available there. Let's check Apple, and then I'll call that a day. Key stats, Apple, 2007-0219. And again, not available. So, okay, I think I'm content now with these numbers. And for now, I guess we'll just leave this here. We'll stop. We'll just add this as a pass. And then this and this. Okay. So anyways, that's it with this one. In the next video, we'll be talking about plotting up difference and kind of moving into actually training on this data and actually running some machine learning on this data. So anyways, that's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support and subscriptions. And until next time.